I'm Carson.
And I'm Jack.
And this is
Dweeb Wars!
Every week, we help a nerdy expert solve one of life's greatest dweeby mysteries.
Whoever wins the most debates by the end of the season becomes the
Head Dweeb in charge!
Today's debate.
How would you fix the Neopian economy?
We got you covered.
We are gonna help you out.
Yeah. I don't look like an egg at all.
No, you don't. You kind of just look sickly. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dweeb Wars, where we debate life's dweebiest questions. Jack right now is dressed as an egg.
I'm having a
and
tantrum.
I have never seen Jack so distraught.
Oh my god. Y'all mind if I just
Girl,
hate for a second?
Get on the stool.
I hate face paint.
Yeah.
I hate when my face itches and I can't do anything about it. I hate that I tried to look like an egg and I don't.
Yeah,
so
you
what's
look
it
crazy.
all worth?
You look crazy.
I hate that I wanted to be an omelet, but I went for a sunny side up. Now who knows why? It's such a complete disaster.
You know what we do love though?
Neopets.
We love Neopets and debating some interesting stuff. So
Oh my god. Also, I hate this coffee. The flavor is an espresso,
Neospresso, strawberry and white chocolate coffee.
It's disgusting. If you ever have the
Why?
chance, don't do it.
Well, why does it exist? I'm the perfect consumer, by the way. I will buy, speaking of the economy, we're talking about the economy today in Neopets, and I am the perfect consumer. I will buy anything that seems interesting. You can sell me on pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And when I saw strawberry and white chocolate, I said, well, I've got to try it out. Little did I know it would be something so rank, so
Rank is the right word.
so wrong that it would make me question everything about
Everything.
About
taste buds.
Yeah.
If they should exist.
honestly.
Taste buds maybe need
I
to be
immediately
eradicated.
Scraped them off. We do have, again, a first-time guest. We are so lucky to have so many incredible guests, guest experts come on and hear me and Jack's pitches on these things. And today we have somebody that I am so thrilled to welcome to the pod.
Please welcome the inventor of Neopets.
In our eyes, Tamiki!
Hello.
Welcome to Dweeb Wars.
I'm so happy to be here.
Me and Tamiki went to college together, and I feel like you were always on Pokemon Go.
Yes.
You were always like a secret kind of... You're passionate about some stuff.
Absolutely. I spent a lot of time as a kid doing like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon,
Yes, that's right.
Neopets, Digimon, all of those things.
Now, Neopets.
Yes.
You actually came to us with Neopets.
Yes.
So you are have a secret fascination with the pets. Now, what was that about?
I-
And you literally brought this here today.
Yeah.
Why do you even have this?
I bought that for my boyfriend for a gift one time. I forget when exactly. But basically, he is works in coding now, but always his interview question was how he started coding through Neopets as a kid.
Oh my
Just because
God.
Neopets was a platform for so many things.
Yeah.
It really just allowed you to explore what interested you.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think
so true. Yeah.
I think part of the reason why I loved Neopets growing up was because it was a very acceptable way to explore with queerness or girly things, but still all of the young boys were doing it, so it was it's natural.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so true. And it's actually really interesting. We're going to talk about some really niche stuff today, but in my research, I was finding people being I learned how the stock market works through Neopets. You could explore coding, you could explore being a stockbroker, you could explore being a writer.
Reseller,
A lot of writers get their start in blogs and forums and sort of community. There were the guilds, right? There were these communities that you could come to explore interests, which is so interesting that it is the starting point for so many people.
Yeah.
For me, it was games, right? I'm obviously a huge gamer. I
Yeah.
was the thing that sticks out to me is the games. Liar's
Yes.
Dice, I learned on there. Snake, I learned with Mirka Chase.
Yes.
These were the starts to my gaming.
Yeah.
I was
you know.
on Usuki Frenzy nonstop.
Yes.
And not only that, I feel it was giving risk management for children. Even though it wasn't a big risk, but as I'm dressed like the egg, right? Every day you could go collect the omelet. And
That's
you were
right.
you knew the odds of you getting a really good omelet piece weren't good, but there was always hope.
Yeah.
It
oh my God, our masks today.
I know. But it always made me, maybe that's where I won't lie. I have an interest in gambling. I don't do it a lot. Because I do have like pretty good self-control. But I do like to gamble, and I do associate some of that to the Neopet omelet.
During my research for this, I found out that they had to implement like rules that parents like signed this huge petition to
Right.
be like limit the amount of gambling, or
Nature, yeah.
there were other things that like they were like kids shouldn't get an early
Start
yeah. on that.
On the dopamine hit.
Yeah,
Okay.
the dopamine. But that's really interesting when we're talking about an economy that really kind of mirrors our own.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you all are gonna get into this, so I hope I'm not jumping on any toes. But like, it was originally for like college-age kids when Neopets first like opened. It
didn't
wasn't
see
the
that.
Neopets that we know today with like these cute little things. Like
Yeah.
the original Bruce, the penguin, was like a caricature version of Bruce Forsyth, which is like this British comedian.
That is so
And so you just like
crazy.
had like these like people pets, and it was like all these things. It was like for like college-age kids at first.
Now, Tamiki, if you would present us with the question that you have brought here for us today.
The Neopets economy has been in shambles
Shambles.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
How would you fix the Neopian economy?
I'll tell you.
It's a huge undertaking.
No, it's huge. It's huge.
This might be the biggest question we've ever had.
Yeah, there's so many factors. You would have to fix a million things.
Yes.
But what are we focusing on?
Yeah.
I think is the main question here.
Hear ye, hear ye. It's a new era for Neopets. Here is how I would fix the Neopets economic meltdown. So to give some background, how does the Neopets economy work? The currency is Neopoints. You get them by doing daily activities and quests, buying and selling items, playing games, things like that. You spend Neopoints on Neopet customizations like changing colors, buying collectibles to flex, etc. There are shops to buy goods, but also player-owned shops and a free market economy like the auction house to resell items. Now, we all know the Neopets economy is busted.
Busted up,
Yeah.
broken down, twisted, sick, and horrible.
Yeah. So you can see from this article on Neopets.com on the Neopian Times, which is their blog, the Neopian economy, where it's been and where it's going. The economy went from 200 to 80 in one day, and then it's at 37. This article was written in 2002. You can see at the top URL, it's week 59. And now guess what?
Oh my God.
No more articles were ever written after week 59. So even their own
Government shutting them down.
well, their own journalist website went bankrupt. It's out of business and has been out of business for 23 years. So we know it's a real problem. You know, they used to have these things, oh, the Neopian economy plummeted from 200 to 80 to 37.
Yeah.
We don't even have a number anymore. Somehow, the Neopets economy suffers from diametrically opposing evils, stagflation and deflation. So if you know what stagflation is, it is a period of economic weakness or recession. So that's where the stagnation part of the word comes from, while prices are still on the rise despite less economic output. So inflation is going crazy. In short, prices go up, wages stay down, investments go down. People cannot afford essential items. So here we have an example of the blue paintbrush. In 2002, it only cost 20,000 Neopoints. Now it's 145,000 Neopoints.
Insane.
Inflation is up 9.3%.
Insane. For just blue.
For
Not
just
even rainbow.
blue
Not even
paintbrush.
Halloween.
I know.
Spooky brush. Blue.
You also have deflation. Deflation sounds good because prices are kept down, but it's a really bad sign for an economy, actually. That's why when you talk to economists, the most ideal inflation per year is just around or just under 2%. If prices keep falling, then you aren't incentivized to buy because you might see, a blue paintbrush and say, oh, it's 145,000 today, but what if in a month it's 100,000? I'm gonna just wait. But then
Yeah.
everyone's collecting and keeping money,
The
but not spending it.
The collecting. That's a problem.
It's a real problem. It kills demand, meaning it also kills small businesses, which means that shops make less money. Then the things you saved or invest in, like stocks or big purchases, are now worth less than they were.
Scary.
It's terrible. So you
Scary.
can see here we have two items, like the fading water bottle fairy and fading bottled, not water bottle, fading bottled
The water bottle fairy.
and fading bottled earth fairy, decreasing
Aquafina
in
is
price
her name.
over the last 23 years. And yet the rich get richer.
Yup.
Somehow that
Yup.
always happens. Can you
Yup.
believe? So bots are able to buy rare items as soon as they're stocked
Yep.
in stores. So there's this thing where maybe once a week at a certain time, shops are restocked with items. And then, like, at 12 a.m., the bots, sort of like how they do for concert tickets in real life, will buy everything,
Yeah, scalpers.
scalp, and then hoard the wealth and resell them at crazy prices.
Yep.
An example of this are stamp collections.
Yep.
Stamp collections, I don't know if y'all know,
Yep.
are limited edition items, some going for as much as 350 million Neopoints! Are you kidding?
Yes.
It's the Hermes of Neopets. What do we do now? Clearly we have a problem.
Yep.
5 solutions. It's a 5-pronged solution.
Wow.
Oh my
But let's start at
gosh.
number 1.
Okay.
You have to pull a vanilla World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you guys know much about World of Warcraft, but let me set the stage. In 2004, World of Warcraft was created. You earn gold in the game by playing the game. You can sell items in the game later as things go on because companies get money hungry, obviously. Developments were made so that you could pay for gold with real money. Also, if you had a high-level character, you could get great gear and then send it to your lower-level characters so that they could absolutely annihilate in player versus player. And then even they introduced spending real-life money to just immediately boost a character from level 1 to 90. So it, like, completely
Blew everything apart.
ended the whole point of the game. 15 years after they released, they re-released the game. Literally the same game they released in 2004 without all the pay-to-win elements. It was a hit. They gained millions of new subscribers because they leveled the playing field again. The loyal players came back and subscribed again. Players still had the option to play the modern version. So, if you have all these people with billions of Neopoints, they're still able to play that side of the game. But there's a different server for a different type of player who want to start over. Neopets
Wow.
should do the same. Re-release
God,
Neopets
look at that
exactly how it was in 1999. Make it optional. This will start things over at a baseline with balanced prices and ways to generate Neopoints. Number 2, I want to introduce Neopet breeding, a Neopoint spending trap.
Interesting.
So, economies, in order to work, you have to spend the money that you're generating. Otherwise, inflation's going to occur. The only reason people are spending Neopoints also is to get rare items. So we have to up the ante here. This is where I introduce statistics for individual Neopets. So not only can breeds be rarer than others, we have to introduce rarity of breeds, but also individuals of each breed of Neopet can have rarer traits. So for instance, we've all heard of NFTs. One thing NFTs do great at is there is rarity for everything. So you can have different eyes, you can have a different color, you can have different clothes. They're all generated to have this different rarity points. This is what makes it so popular and collectible. And so I actually think we sort of get rid of the customization aspect of Neopets and introduce a random element of Neopets. So you take 2 Neopets, you have to spend an amount of Neopoints to breed them, and you don't get to choose what traits are coming from each Neopet. They randomly generate based on your Neopets and based on random generation, and then give visual differences. So you might, spend 50 million Neopoints or whatever to breed a new Neopet. But if it's a dud and it's not that rare, you've lost your money. But it's another risk management aspect of the game. Then people can keep trying to breed and breed and breed until they get like the rarest one, right? So it incentivizes spending. Number 3, we gotta ban bots also through security mechanisms.
Yeah,
We have to add CAPTCHAs when logging
Definitely.
into the game to make botting rare items more difficult. And also if bots are detected. Number 4, we need to reward spending. We need to keep people spending. Like
Yeah.
a Mario Party style bonus, bonus star. At the end of like every season, which maybe is, 6 weeks, 3 months, a month, or whatever, the people who have spent the most actually receive limited edition items. So then you're not incentivized to actually hoard points, you're incentivized to spend, and then it keeps everyone closer to 0 points, which will make sure that we can keep prices also reasonable. And number 5, we have to tax the rich. I think we need a sink. So obviously in Neopets you can sell items between players through sort of your own shops, through the auction house or whatever. But we can't just give, if you're selling an item for 5,000 Neopoints, we can't just let you take 5,000 Neopoints. We need a portion of those points that someone is buying to then just be burnt forever and disappear.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Yes.
Okay, work.
My question, when my jaw dropped when you were like, no more customization.
Yeah.
You think there should be no more paintbrushes in in Neopets?
I do. I think you should have to risk it for the biscuit, right? So I
Okay.
think a different way of doing that would be you could buy either a Neopet that already has that color, if you really want it, I think. Or you can try to breed for that color. So I think, if you really want a purple Neopet, you could buy or have a blue and a red Neopet and breed them in the hope that you can get a purple. And you might not get it, right? But then I think it enhances, when you do get it, it'll feel really good because you knew you actually worked for it. And number two, it incentivizes more spending because if you don't get it the first time, you're still going to want it even more.
But I
Things
just
like
feel
that.
like some of those paintbrushes are like so like different than like the like Moroccan paintbrush that I wanted, or like the baby paintbrush. Like you have to breed to get like a baby like version of it, or like
Yeah, but what if you had to breed and you only had like a 1% chance of getting it, but when you did, you have something so valuable now. Also, I think, in my opinion, a bigger flex than like a stamp, right? A stamp
Yeah.
is kind of giving mid, but like if you have a really, really rare color that is really difficult to get, like, I don't know, I think it incentivizes people spending. And also, if 99% of the times you're rolling the dice and you don't get what you want, then you're spending 99 times as much as you would, and we need to keep people spending.
yeah.
Okay, so fantastic presentation. Here is how I would save the Neopets' broken economy. Why save the Neopets' economy? And to me, that has to do with Neopets actually being this prophetic thing where things that happen in Neopets actually reflect in our own economy. And so I believe save Neopets, save the world. Neopets has predicted real world economic trends and flaws. There was a huge instance of guilds inflating Neopets stock markets, and that happened years before Redditors started waging war on Wall Street through GameStop, through those literal exact same strategies. There were these unconverted Neopets, which I believe, and this is where we start to divert a little bit, are actually the first NFTs. Unconverted Neopets became the first NFT, this collectible, this super rare collectible image that just had value based on how society was viewing it. And I actually think it was the downfall of the economy. Rare items actually cemented this economy with high volatility. The Neopets economy works. You can earn through various means. You can log in, the Battle Dome, Fairyland Job Agency, etc. And just like Jack said, you can spend at the main shops or the user shops. But the thing is that main shops distribute Neopoints back to the servers, while user shops, of course, keep currency floating around in the user market. My tactic for saving the economy really revolves around actually deprioritizing user shops, because that has been what is so prioritized and is actually keeping wealth growing and growing within users without money going back to the government, but back to the servers. And that's what happens when inflation happens, right? There's not enough money going back, and so more and more people have more and more money because they're trading within themselves, and suddenly they have more money to spend on items. Items become pricier. But we need to stimulate the Neopian economy with expansionary fiscal policy, okay? This needs to include spending schemes, getting Neopoints back to the Neopian government. Now, Neopets agrees with me and is actually no stranger to a spending scheme. They use real-world strategies to do so. There was the Lever of Doom, which is essentially the lottery, where you spend 100 Neopoints and it says, do not pull. They tried to make it tantalizing.
All right.
But every time you pulled it, you spent 100 Neopoints. It was for nothing. Most of the time, it was literally just taking money out of your account, which is fantastic.
Right.
However, every so often, gave you a reward, it gave you an item. They also have charity through Save the Wheel, where people could spend a certain amount of Neopoints, and if you were within the top 10 benefactors, you would be shown on this big screen, so people wanted that. Now, that I actually think is a better strategy because the reward isn't something that could be resold, right? Somebody is spending 1 billion Neopoints, it seems, putting it back into the government, and it isn't something that they can then take and resell, and it can, ruin the economy again. It just is a social benefit. None of these succeeded well enough to significantly rebalance the market, and I believe we need this Neopoints dump. We need a fiscal plan that incorporates the reasons people like Neopets in the first place. What has always set Neopets apart from other pet collection games was its ability to form community. Unlike Pokemon, unlike Tamagotchi, users flocked to Neopets for connection, and that is an asset that can't be resold. The fiscal answer must be social. And that is why I am introducing Club Kiko. But welcome to Club Kiko. Here at Club Kiko, we value our users' experience. Club Kiko, of course, it is a Neopets exclusive social cult for the rich.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Club Kiko is the Neopets version of Soho House. Okay. Founded in 2025, Neopian year 26, is run by an anonymous street artist named Mulberry. His signature M is found graffitied across Neopets, sometimes on walls, sometimes on items, and when you refresh the page, the signature is gone. His art exists as something that cannot be commodified or sold. It is about shocking people, about starting conversation, about true value being experiential, not tangible. And that is exactly what Club Kiko represents. For 100,000 Neopet points per month, they become a hatchling. A user becomes a hatchling. They gain exclusive access to a completely new area of Neopets, the Club Kiko Hotel. Each floor contains exciting and mysterious new ventures. Gaming floors, art floors, discussion floors. You start as a hatchling, you become a nestling, fledgling, treetop, canopy, cloud, sky, heaven. Now at the heaven tier, you know it is the top floor of the hotel and that Mulberry is there, right? You raise membership levels through a combination of time dedicated and activities participated in. Of course, time dedicated means that you've spent more money, which goes directly back to the Neopets government. Each time you level up, you're rewarded with being able to access more floors, more games, more clubs, more art, more discussions, more concerts, more events, more everything. None of these things can be resold. Now, here's the T at the top. It is that the Heaven tier is only awarded to 5 dedicated members who commune with Mulberry, a slot that only opens up when somebody stops paying dues, leaves the club, or deactivates their account. The gag is, you become Mulberry. Mulberry is those 5 members, a hive mind that can plan events, shift artistic focuses, and decide where Mulberry's next art will strike. Now, how does this help? The problem, of course, is that there is too much money in the hands of users, causing insane inflation, and the rich decide how the economy is going by controlling the movement for over half of the entire economy. A poll was run on Neopets to help the economy issue by taking data of users' Neopoints. It said that a vast majority of Neopians had fewer than 100,000 Neopoints, but 11% had over half of the total Neopoints, each having over 2 million Neopoints each. Those are the people we need to target, because if we can stop the hoarding of wealth and get it back into the economy, then everyone will start to balance a little bit. So we need a product that is going to target the rich without giving them something that then they can resell and actually gain richer. We need to create a social asset. If we can get the rich to get rid of the wealth they are hoarding and begin to encourage people to save up not for items but for social clout and benefit, we can revitalize the economy, boosting the value of a Neopoint, but we can also revitalize the game. People came to Neopoints for community. So I believe this is an economic plan that will work and that users could be excited about. Lastly, my opposing economist here, Jack Dodge, literally told me not 3 weeks ago that he heard from an anonymous source that if you're gonna sell something, make it luxury. What could be more luxury than this? Club Kiko. And that is my idea to save the economy.
I considered putting a slide on mine that was just like, number 1... actually hire
people,
developers.
yeah.
I don't think they have like full-time staff. It seems like anymore who are like, they need money.
Yeah.
They need
investment.
They
need real
They need
money.
investment.
Yeah,
yes.
I think there are some ideas that you all need to copyright before someone tries to steal this from you.
Before we publicize it for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
But before
Council.
Neopets snatches
Yeah,
Club
literally.
Kiko and
Oh
the
my
like.
God.
I think I have to give this winner to Club Kiko. I just loved how Club Kiko really did tap into the spirit of, I think, what Neopets should be, and there was like something.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's interesting too. This is I felt because what I thought was amazing about yours was it has to be a 5-pronged approach.
Yes.
Like
Five
mine.
was hardly scratching the skin.
I know,
it needed
right.
to be a 1,000-pronged
It
approach.
needs to have so many prongs.
Like the idea of Club Kiko kind of is like in spirit with like these like big game-wide events that like get you all engaged for something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And like the possibility to go beyond or stay in Club Kiko for a while, but it's like this opt-in to like this like larger thing that I think is like
Yeah.
super helpful.
Yeah, and I think that people also users kind of back away if it's too obviously an economic scheme.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think this could masquerade as something just
Yeah.
fun, new era.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Any last thoughts? Anywhere that the people can find you?
I mean, not really. If people want to follow me, I do have an Instagram, but the Dancing Tiki.
Love you all. Love you.
Love you
Love
too.
you.
Love ya.
And we will see you on the next ep. Watch The Amazing Race. We're on it.
Bye.
And catch me at the next viewing party.
Yes!